Hello everyone, how's it going? And welcome to today's Wild Rift guide. In today's guide, we're taking a closer look at Annie. Annie is a mid lane mage. She's a very safe champion that you can pick up, and she's fairly easy to understand as well. But the most important part that you need to know about Annie's kit is her passive, and keeping track of how many stacks you have throughout the entire game. Annie has one of the safest laning phases in the game. She can stay back and she can use her first ability, Disintegrate, to last hit minions, which restores the mana and halves the cooldown of the ability. And in the late game, you can use your ultimate and use that AoE passive stun that you have available to you to get a huge team fight ultimate and pretty much stun the entire team. Taking a quick look through Annie's build, you want to build a lot of ability power with Annie, but you also want a little bit of tankiness as well. Just because Annie likes to get up close and personal because she wants to try and land her passive stuns with her abilities as much as possible. Rod of Ages is great for both of these. Gives you maximum health, gives you ability power, and you get stacks as well every 45 seconds, which at maximum stacks, which is 10 stacks, you get an extra 200 health, 100 mana, and 60 ability power. So just overall a great item for Annie. You got Rabadon's Death Cap as well, which you get a lot of ability power, and it also increases your overall ability power as well by 40%. For the boots, most of the time you want to go for Lucidity boots, which gives you more ability haste, and you want to go for Protobelt as well. Protobelt allows you to reduce the distance between you and the enemy, so you can use your passive stun. You can try and use the Tibbers ultimate as well on top of that, which I'll explain a little bit later on in the combos. Void Staff as well, more ability power. Magic penetration as well. You can switch this around for Infinity Orb if there's not a lot of enemies building magic resist. Infinity Orb again gives you that little bit of tankiness, gives you the movement speed as well, which is really, really nice. Still gives you a little bit of magic penetration, but abilities and empowered attacks critically strike for 20% of bonus damage against enemies below 35% health. So when you've done your combo, sometimes you've got like a few abilities left when they are below 35% health. So just make sure you land them abilities and you'll be able to critical strike and do more damage. And the last item, Morella Nomicon as well. Again, a little bit more health, ability power, grievous wounds as well to reduce the healing of the enemy. So just overall, another great item. For the runes, Electrocute, really easy to proc on Annie, especially when you land your passive stun. As mentioned, this is the most important part about Annie, so you need to maybe practice that to make sure that you get that perfect. Conqueror doesn't really work too well because you don't really have a lot of abilities to stack after you proc your Conqueror, and you don't really auto attack that much as well. You just want to get as much burst damage as possible. Weakness as well, really easy to immobilize the enemies again with your passive stun, and then after that you'll be able to deal more damage afterwards. Adaptive Carapace for the laning phase. You can switch this out for Hunter Titan if you do need a little bit more tenacity. You can play very, very safe in the laning phase, so Adaptive Carapace can be switched around with other runes, but you gain the 50 health, and while below 50% health as well, you gain armor and magic resist depending on the damage type you took over the last 60 seconds. And then for the last one, we got Sweet Tooth as well. So when you go to the Honey Fruit, you get the extra healing, and you also get a little bit of extra gold as well. For the spells, Flash, pretty obvious, you can Flash Stun, use all your abilities and everything as well. You also have Ignite as well most of the time. Because Annie is quite short range, you'll be in Ignite range. So when you land the Tibbers, when you land the AoE stun, you'll be able to get Ignite on top of that as well and do even more damage. But that's everything for the build. If you do want to play like support Annie as well, it's probably the same sort of build. You just want to go for like full AP, just maybe a little bit more tankiness. But yeah, that's pretty much the build for Annie. Let's move on to the abilities. First up, we have Annie's passive, which is Pyromania. After casting 4 abilities, the next offensive ability stuns enemies for just over a second. So that's your first ability, your second ability, and your ultimate. These count as offensive abilities. Now this, as I mentioned, is the most important part about Annie. You can see underneath Annie's health bar, there's little dots. Every single time you use an ability, you gain a stack. And as mentioned, once you get 4 stacks, the bar will turn purple, and you can see there's a little effect around Annie. This means that your next active ability or your next offensive ability will stun the enemy. So whether it be your first ability, your second ability, your ultimate, any one of these. You can use your second ability as well. As you can see, it stuns the enemy, or you can use your ultimate as well. Making sure that you have this available as much as possible, especially during the laning phase, if you want to play passive, just allows you to play safe and allows you to kind of get that opportunity to maybe play a little bit aggressive and try and land your ultimate. Annie's first ability, we have Disintegrate. Hurls a fireball that explodes in a small area, dealing magic damage. Killing the enemy refunds Disintegrate's mana cost and halves the cooldown. So again, you can see you have fairly, quite a long range. If you can sit back here, you can use this to try and farm minions or just try and stack up as much as possible. And when you use the ability, you know, as you can see with the passive stun as well, there is a little bit of an AoE effect as well. So if I put another target dummy just next to this one, there is a little bit of an AoE effect. As you can see, you can sometimes stun 2 targets at once, but sometimes that can be a little bit difficult. But sometimes the damage can splash. As you can see, I'm hitting both of them at the same time. They can be very, very hard to aim. So most of the time, as mentioned, you want to use this ability during the laning phase, and if you do kill a minion, it does refund the mana, and you also reduce the cooldown by half. So this allows Annie to play really, really safe during the laning phase. Annie's second ability is Incinerate. It releases a cone of fire that deals magic damage to all enemies within it. So this is a really quick ability, one of the fastest abilities for Annie, and you can get a really quick and easy stun off with your passive. As you can see, just a little cone that you can use in front of you or even behind you if you really want to. But when you use the cone, as you can see, just fires out a burst of damage. Like I said, most of the time you want to use this if you just want a really quick stun. If there's an enemy in front of you that you want just a really quick stun off. If you do want the AoE stun, you can use the ultimate instead. But you can use this as well if you really want to, and then follow that up with other abilities as well. But yeah, really quick, really easy ability to understand. And then move on to the third ability, we have Molten Shields. Shield Tibbers or an allied champion or even yourself for a few seconds, absorbing damage, and enemies who attack the shield take a little bit of magic damage as well. So you can shield yourself. It does stack up the passive, but it won't use the passive, the stun passive, because it's not an offensive ability. So as you can see, I have the passive available. If I use my third ability, it won't use it up. I can still use another ability afterwards. So this is really, really important. Most of the time you want to use your third ability as kind of like a little bit of a bait. So when you use all your abilities, you can get up to 3 stacks. And then if you go close to the enemy, they might think, oh, you don't have your stun available. But if you quickly use your third ability, followed by another ability, you can just quickly and easily get a stun off, which you can catch a few enemies off guard. So just a little bit of a tip there before we get to the combos. And then for the ultimate, we have Tibbers. It summons Tibbers, dealing magic damage to nearby enemies for the next 30 seconds. Tibbers deals magic damage, burning enemies. So basically, he stays on the field for a few seconds, which is really, really nice. So kind of works as your kind of companion in a way. And if you reactivate the ability, you can order Tibbers around. When you activate it, there you go, there's Tibbers. And as you can see, you can order it around. You can get it to follow if you want to. You can get it to attack target dummies. You can get it to attack towers if you really want to as well. As you can see, you can get it to target towers. Or if you just want it to come back towards you, you can just tap the ability and Tibbers will keep following you around. So really, really nice to get like a little bit of a companion. There was like a little bit of a buff recently as well, which allowed Tibbers to deal a little bit more damage. But as you can see, Tibbers does AoE damage as well around with enemies around him, and can stay alive for quite a long time as well. So it kind of can work as like a meat shield as well. And as mentioned, with your passive as well, you can get a huge, massive AoE damage with the passive stun as well. As you can see, all that damage, all the enemies are stunned as well, and you can follow that up with all your other abilities. Moving on to quickly show Annie's combos. There's a few little combos, but most of the time it's just making sure you use your passive as much as possible. You can use your abilities and flash straight afterwards to kind of reduce that distance between you and the enemy. So you can use like your second ability, for example, and then quickly flash straight afterwards. And as you can see, it will just basically extend the range of the second ability. You can use this for the first ability as well and flash forward if you just want to get a really quick and easy stun off. You also have another one as well, which uses your proto belt as well. So for this one, you want to have 3 stacks available, as you can use your third ability to quickly get the ultimate. You can proto belt ulti and then use your other abilities on top of that as well, as you've just seen. This is kind of the main ultimate, and then you can auto attack afterwards, and then Tibbers will help you as well. That's kind of the main ultimate that you main combo, sorry, that you want to use. And you can use other combos as well, like you using your first quickly followed by your second ability. As you can see, the first and the second ability are much faster than your ultimate. So you can use it to get a really quick and easy stun. So when you use it, you know, as you can see, I got 3 stacks again. I can quickly use my first ability followed by my second ability. And you can quickly get a stun off, which can help you, especially if you're jungler ganks as well. But other than that, as mentioned, there's not really a lot of combos with Annie. Annie's a fairly basic champion to understand. In terms of counters, Annie doesn't do really well against assassins, because anyone that really dives on top of Annie, she really, really struggles. She wants to stay back, play passive early on. And obviously with ideal synergies with Annie, you want anyone that has any sort of AoE sort of stuns, like a Mumu. Alistar's really good, Camille as well if you can lock people in place, Jarvan as well, and that means you can follow up with your Tibbers. Moving on to the skill order with Annie at level 1, you want to go for your first ability. I've mentioned already that you can stay back, you can use your first ability to pretty much farm as much as possible because you get refunded the mana every single time, so you can use this ability as much as you want to last hit minions. That's the main reason for going for that. And then you want to go for your second ability. You can try and charge up your first ability in the early laning phase to try and get your passive up and available. And then when you hit level 2, you can try and use your second ability, just get a quick stun off, or you could just keep your stun up as much as you can. Then level 3, you want to go for your third ability just to get the extra shield and have all your abilities available. And then the first ability you want to max is your first ability. Get as much damage as possible as you can, and make sure you level up your ultimate as and when you can. And then after that, you want to go for your second ability. Your third ability is not really important at all. Only gives you extra shield and everything, which you don't really need. Main purpose of Annie is trying to get as much damage as possible. So you need to make sure you level up your first ability and then your second ability first. And after that, making sure you level up your third ability. So yeah, that's everything that you need to know with Annie. I'm going to show you a gameplay now, talk you through a little bit about laning phase, late game, and everything as well. So hopefully you enjoy that, and I'll see you all very soon. Alright, on to the gameplay. Let's head straight into it. Sorry for the audio issues during the first part of the video. I downloaded a new software because I was trying to sort out my webcam and it messed up my mic instead and all this sort of stuff. But anyway, it should all be sorted now. Hopefully recording this should be okay. And for the next video, we will be all good as well. You can still hear me, but it sounds like I'm in an igloo or something. It sounds like I'm really echoing. But anyway, enough about me complaining about technical issues. Let's head on and talk about Annie. Now, as mentioned already, Annie is a very safe laner. She can just use her abilities at range and just play very, very passive. We're against Akali in this lane. So Akali is a melee champion. But as you can see here, all you have to do really with Annie in the early game is just sit back, play passive, and just use your first ability to farm. You can see this is pretty much what I'm doing. There's a little invade happening already as well. All the shenanigans happening already. We're just waiting the bush here. You can see a little AoE damage that you can do with the first ability as well. You can see that we do get the first blood. And I use my double stun as well from my second ability. So you can see I use a little bit of my combo there as well. And you can see I can use my flash, use my Q. And we get a pretty crazy early game lead in this game. Because Olaf went for the cheeky little invade, and he kind of got caught out, to be totally honest with you. But he flashed over the wall, and everyone else flashed and followed him as well at the same time. And I was like, okay, I'll rotate. I don't mind this. Akali was kind of on the wrong side of the wall. And yeah, we got some, you know, nice, easy first kill of the game, and also 2 assists as well. So we'll take the extra gold in the early game. It always helps out a lot. As you can see there, I made sure I used my first ability before I used my second ability, because I knew I had 3 stacks, sorry. So I used my first ability first, and then I used my second ability straight afterwards. You can see how quickly you can get the stun off with the second ability, and obviously it's an AoE stun as well, so I was able to stun both the enemies at the same time. I probably could have warded, or maybe I warded already, I'm not too sure. I could have warded the bush because we did lose vision of one of the enemies, but it's still all good, it's still all good. We're still in a pretty good position, but yeah, as you can see, you know, with Annie, really, really easy. You can see I'm not losing any mana for this at all. You can just sit back. You can use your first ability to farm as much as possible. You can probably still hear the sounds of the follows and everything like that. But hopefully I'll get that sorted in the next video. But yeah, we're farming up. We're doing all good. We're in a pretty good position. I can see Kha'Zix at the moment in the bot side there. Trying to jump in and trying to kill me, but he's not going to do too much. You can see at the moment I'm just auto-attacking the minions, because I'm waiting for Olaf to come and help and gank. You can do this sometimes. You don't have to use your first ability all the time. Sometimes it's best to keep your passive up and available, because sometimes you will get ganked, and sometimes you'll need to use your abilities to kind of save yourself from a gank, if that makes sense, to kind of stun the enemies in place. So say Kha'Zix did jump on top of me, did try and kill me, I can just use my second ability and just walk away, which is all well and good. So unfortunately there I didn't get the minion. I didn't last hit the minion. So yeah, and he's a bit of a weird champion, I guess you could say, because she's not really the most interactive, I would say, champion in the game. She's a pretty easy champion to play as well. But yeah, you can see Akali here trying to jump in. I think she jumps. Does she jump in? No, she doesn't jump in. She doesn't go too aggressive here. Luckily for her. Yeah, a little engage here in the mid lane. I use my second ability to get the quick stun off. Nice little dodge there by the Akali. You can see that I didn't use my Tibbers. I used my second ability because I knew my Thresh was coming. And obviously she still had Flash as well. So not really any point of using my my ultimate there. Just using my second ability just to get a quick stun off instead of being able to, you know, sometimes the Tibbers can be a little bit slow and sometimes champions like Akali can just easily dash away and easily use another ability or something like that, or even Flash to try and dash away. You can see we've got Rod of Ages now, so we've got Rod of Ages at about 4 minutes into the game. So that should be fully stacked as quick as possible, pretty much. Nice little double kill by my Duralaner as well. And we go back to lane and farming. This is pretty much what you do with Annie. I mean, you just farm with your first ability all the time. You try and look to rotate as much as possible as well. Obviously, with my levels as well, the first ability is the way to go because you want to try and get as much damage down as possible. Obviously, as mentioned already a little bit, Annie does struggle a little bit against assassins because when champions dive on top of her, she can struggle a little bit. But most of the time, it's not too bad. And sometimes it's, you know, sometimes it's better to, like I said, to keep your stun and to keep it as much as possible. Yeah, sometimes you don't need to really do anything, to be honest. Sometimes you just need to play safe as well at the same time. So yeah, going through this game, you can see we're 6-1 in the gold lead at the moment. See Tibbers doing some nice AoE damage to help me out a little bit here, trying to help me push the lane as much as possible. Tibbers does unfortunately die. RIP Tibbers. Unfortunately, nothing going for Tibbers there. Yeah, unfortunately, my dual lane does die. Unfortunately, you can see that Olaf is starting the Rift Herald, so I'm gonna look to try and roam up there. You can see I have 3 stacks available, and I have 4 stacks, and I'm gonna use my ability to try and stun the Kha'Zix. Fortunately, he jumps away. I probably could have done a little bit better there. Carly looks to jump in. Brand is like AFK in the middle of the bush for like no apparent reason at all, which is quite interesting. Trying to do as much damage as possible here. Use my Ignite as well on the Kha'Zix. And I felt like I kind of wasted my stun there, to be honest. I definitely could have used my stun a little bit better. As you can see, nice and quick and easy double kill for us. Well, not really double kill for us. We got one of the kills, but not the other kill. As you can see, Annie can roam around, you know, quite easily. You can use your roaming abilities. You can use your Tibbers and your stun and everything as well. Like I said, she's pretty easy to understand. You don't really need to know too much. I wouldn't really say that she's weak as well at the same time. I definitely think that she has the potential to be like a really, really good carry for the team. Especially if you can land like the Tibbers and everything as well at the same time. Gonna go for our boots upgrade, go for the Ionia boots, get the little bit of extra ability haste that we need. We're going for Death Cap as well. We're 203 right now, so we haven't died just yet, but I'm pretty sure it won't take too long for me to completely run it down and int one of these games, or int one of the deaths, I should say. Olaf getting a little bit caught out in the jungle by Akali again. The Akali's trying really hard to try and jump onto the Olaf, but unfortunately wasn't able to in the end. You can see use your third ability on other champions as well. If you need to get a little bit of extra shield as well and get a little bit of extra magic damage. We got the blue buff as well. At the moment, I'm not rotated towards the dragon because I want to get this mid lane priority. But the only problem is that Annie doesn't have the best pushing power, to be honest. You can see how slow you push mid lane. I'm going to try and I get this cannon minion, which I'm not going to be able to get. But yeah, unfortunately, they do steal the dragon. So they get a little bit of a misplay by myself, to be fair. I think instead of pushing the mid wave, I definitely could have rotated a little bit earlier. I tried to get the mid lane priority, trying to deny the minions away from my Akali. But as you can see, we're running down to the bot lane now. We're going to try and kill Senna, get the Tibbers off, get the combo with all of our abilities. And our Misfortune gets a killing spree. So yeah, sometimes with Annie, you need to know like when to rotate, when not to rotate, when to push out mid-wave as well. Obviously, most of the time, you want to try and push out mid-wave before you roam because you don't want to lose as much experience or as much gold in mid lane. Because obviously, if you do, and if you roam around too much, and if you lose all the minions, then you won't be able to... you're kind of fall far behind in terms of like farm, in terms of experience, in terms of gold as well. Even if you do get kills, most of the time, it's better to just take the tower and take a few minions and take a few tower plays as well at the same time. So, as you can see, we get mid lane tower. We use the Rift Herald. I don't think the Rift Herald was needed. I think we could have done it without Rift Herald. But now we're going to go for the second tower as well. We're going to try and get it. Olaf uses his Unstoppable Force to become unCCable, I guess you can call it. So yeah, we do get two mid lane towers out of it, so we're in a really, really strong spot at the moment. As you can see here, I'm going to use... oh, I thought I used my Protobelt to go forward here, but unfortunately I don't. I used my Tibbers to try and save the Olaf in the end, but unfortunately I wasn't able to save anyone. But as you can see, this fight is not going too great. This fight is definitely not going too great, and unfortunately here, I don't think my Thresh has Lantern, and yeah, we died. It's a little bit of an overextension there. I probably could have just backed off and let my team die, to be fair, but I tried to save the Olaf. Unfortunately, we weren't able to, and Olaf did die, but yeah, Olaf kind of getting a little bit too aggressive. Obviously, we got the 2 mid lane towers. We didn't need to play aggressive at all, to be honest, once you get sub towers. Sometimes, I think that's a common thing and a common mistake that I see a lot of people make, is that they always kind of overextend when they already have an advantage. When you have an advantage, when you get a tower or something, just back off, you know. You don't need to overextend. You don't need to try and go for more kills or anything like that. You could just easily just back off, and then you'll be completely fine to go for the next team fight. Rift Herald is up and available. I'm going to go rotate down to the duo lane. Actually, I don't think I do. No, I realized that my duo lane is actually pushing, so I stay in the mid lane instead. You can see the Rift Herald was easily taken by my team, so I didn't really need to help out at all there. So we're going to keep on getting our mid lane priority that we need with Annie and in mid lane in general. See, now I have my stun up and available. It's a little bit of a skirmish happening topside here, so I'm looking to try and rotate and try and get maybe a few pickoffs. But again, Olaf and Thresh was a little bit of an overextension, but you can see the combo here with the Tibbers with all my other abilities as well. We do get a double kill at the same time. Akali is behind me. I don't know if I actually realized that at the time of playing, but I think I could have backed off there, to be honest, and maybe focused on the Akali. Looking back at it, yeah, Akali just running over the team at the moment. Getting a few kills. Obviously, Akali didn't really get too many kills in the laning phase, but Akali's one of them champions that if you can play safe during the laning phase, you can definitely do a lot of damage in the late game. Because she is a scaling champion, she does do really, really well when it comes to the mid and late game. So yeah, I think instead of trying to go for the Varus and Senna there, I definitely could have backed off. I definitely could have played a bit more passive and probably saved my misfortune as well at the same time. But yeah, I did play a little bit over aggressive there, unfortunately. So yeah, you can see the combo there with the Tibbers. I didn't use my Protobelt for the combo, but you can see the combo when you use the Tibbers, the AoE stun. You can do a lot of damage, and you can also follow up with your other abilities as well and do a lot of burst damage. So Dragon's up. My Olaf uses his ultimate, which is very, very interesting. Don't think he needed to use his ultimate, to be honest. I think he would have been completely fine with not using the ultimate at all. Kha'Zix nearly steals the dragon. But I think he's completely fine. Yeah, he's all good. He's backing away. He's completely fine. A bit of overextension in mid lane again, unfortunately. You can see I'm trying to burst down the Kha'Zix, and you can see the combo there that you can offer with Annie. If you can land the Tibbers, if you can land the other abilities as well, the amount of damage that you could do, and again, another kill as well. Unfortunately, I think I do die here. No, I don't die here. You can see the potential of how much damage Annie can do, and yeah, completely one-shotting Kha'Zix pretty much off the face of the map. And then afterwards as well, using my abilities to try and get my stun, my passive stun up and available as well. Being able to stun Carly with the second ability. Again, second ability, Disintegrate is the quickest. Not Disintegrate, sorry. I can't remember the ability name now of the second ability. But yeah, the second ability is a lot quicker than the first ability. So if you want to get that quick and easy stun and follow that up with other abilities, it's best to go with your second ability and follow that up with your first ability, as you saw there with Akali. So again, a few other kills with 5-2 and 6 at the moment. So things are looking good. Things are looking on the up. I mean, we're 19 and 19 on kills at the moment, so the kills are definitely very even. It's a very, very close game because some of my team are definitely being caught out. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, some of our teammates are getting caught out a little bit, unfortunately. As you can see here, Akali is going to kill the brand here eventually. Yeah, as you can see, the brand does die, but we're there with rotations anyway. I don't think I needed to use Tibbers there, but I just used Tibbers just to try and guarantee the kill. A little bit of an overextension in mid lane as well by my team. You can see that at the moment my team are just overextending quite a lot. There's quite a lot of rotations that we're not really doing too well with because we're getting outnumbered. Brand getting caught in top lane. Me and Misfortune roam up to help the Brand out, and then they get caught in mid lane. So little mistakes here and there by my team, trying to take fights that are not needed, I guess you could say. I think that's the correct way of saying it. But with the dragon, everything coming up at the moment, we're going to go back, get our void stuff, get as much damage as we can, and the main purpose now of Annie when it gets to this stage of the game is you're looking to try and get that AoE stun. You're looking to try and get the tippers up and available. You're looking to try and find multiple members together. And if you can get multiple members together, and if you can find that opportunity, then it's always best to use your combo. You know, use your Protobelt, use your tippers as well, and use it to try and, you know, try and basically force a team fight, I guess you can say, in a way. You can see Kha'Zix is playing a little bit over-aggressive here. Use the ultimate as well. So that is the ultimate down for Kha'Zix, so we're not doing too bad, but they're getting the mid lane priority at the moment. Sorry, excuse me. Oh, God. They're getting the mid lane priority at the moment, which they're allowed to rotate around the map. We don't have any wards at the moment, unfortunately, so we don't really have any vision of them at all. And, yeah, we can see they're not starting Baron, though. That's the most important thing. Most of the time when they get mid lane priority, they look to maybe start off objectives to kind of force us to come forward. You see the Camille trying to kill the Misfortune. I think she does in the end, yeah. Really, really well played by Camille, to be honest. It was a nice little flank just in behind. I think she was in the tri-bush at the top of the map. It's a nice little flank there, to be honest. And I think Misfortune went to go and grab the minion wave, but unfortunately wasn't able to. And as you can see here, Olaf does get caught out as well, unfortunately. And with Drake coming up as well, it's not really a fun spot to be in, to be honest. I've been trying to rotate around the map, trying to get plays, but unfortunately we're just not grouped at the moment. Brand is probably going to die up here, maybe. No, he's not going to die. I'm trying to stack up my passive. You can see I'm just using my third ability. I'm using my other abilities to stack up my passive. They are going to try and take the Baron here, which I think they will take in the end. I do try and use my ultimate. I do try and use my damage to try and steal it. But unfortunately, they did steal the Baron. I went a little bit too early there, to be honest. I feel like maybe if I waited a little bit, I definitely could have done a lot more damage. I did get 2 kills. So I did get rid of 2 Barons off the enemy team, which is not a bad thing. I did get shut down as well on the Varus. So overall, it's probably a decent, you know, decent scenario, decent outcome, I should say, of the situation. Consider it was like a 5 versus 2 or 5 versus 3 situation. Lucky enough, it's not the Elder Dragon yet. Again, you can see Olaf just, yeah. Olaf doing Olaf things, unfortunately. 1 and 8 at the moment, unfortunately. My Brand top lane is currently 5 and 7 as well. So, not going too great at the moment for the team. They've got Baron now. They've got the Infernal Dragon. Like I said, luckily it wasn't the Elder Infernal. If it was Elder Infernal, that would have been... it definitely would have been pretty doomed, to be honest. Because Elder Infernal, the amount of damage that that dragon does when you get it... absolutely redonkulous. If I can even say that. I'm pretty sure redonkulous is a made-up word. But we'll go with the flow anyway. We'll go with the flow. But I haven't really been... I feel like this game... I haven't really been doing too much. I've just been doing... I've just been rotating around the map. And then with my rotations, I've been able to get a few kills. Brand's up in the top lane. Probably going to get caught out by the team. Well, fortunately not. I was going to say unfortunately not. It's well, fortunately not. Oh my god, we're yawning all the time today. Olaf unfortunately getting caught here. You can see that what I'm looking to do here is, look, ulti onto the backline. That's such a huge thing there, is trying to get the Tibbers onto the backline. You can see I was sitting inside the bush, out of vision, and I used the Tibbers to go basically to the backline. I think that's the most important thing with Annie, is that you need to make sure you use the Tibbers onto the backline. You can see how much damage you did. I pretty much one-shot the Varus and the Senna straight away. And if you could get, you know, a few kills, if you can get that stun off on the backline, if they don't have things like QSS or anything like that, then you're in a really, really good spot, to be honest. My Olaf is just rotating around the map at the moment, not trying to defend the base. I feel like if Olaf went back to base, then probably could have defended the inhibitor. But yeah, you can see the damage output there, and you can see the damage potential of Annie when you get to the late game as well. You can see I also have Infinity Orb as well, so I'm going to be able to crit. I'm going to go for the Morellonomicon now as well. Olaf's trying to get mid lane tower here, but it's probably going to die again, if I remember correctly. I can't remember if he actually dies or not. He probably does. Yep. He is 1 and 9. And if you can look at my face right now from my stream, I am pretty disappointed. Because I feel like this game's been pretty good, you know. We've done what we needed to do on Annie. We farmed up during the laning phase. We didn't give away any kills or anything. We rotated around the map as well. We got them 3 early kills as well on the map, which were really, really good. So we did what we pretty much needed to do this game. And in the late game, we were able to focus the carries. As you saw in our last team fight, Varus and Senna couldn't really do that much damage because I pretty much one-shot them with my combo. With my passive combo with the ultimate. But yeah, I mean, there's not really too much to talk about Annie, to be honest. I mean, like I said, Annie's a pretty easy champion to understand. She's very, very easy to play. She's very beginner friendly. So if you are just playing and starting off, if you're just starting to play Wild Rift, and it's definitely very good. And you see Carly here is trying to set up a trap. As you can see, we can use our timbers on top of all of our other damage, and that's a huge, huge pick off for us. I don't know what Akali was doing. I guess check your PayPal, Akali. Thanks for the kill, I guess. But I think she was trying to pick off people. I'm guessing she didn't realize that there was vision in the bush, which is why sometimes sweeper is really, really important. But now, as you can see, we're in a 4 versus 5 situation. The Elder Dragon is up and available, and Akali is still dead for another 30 seconds. So now's our opportunity to try and get advantage around this Elder Drake. Olaf is currently pushing the top lane. Just going to ward the Elder Drake to make sure that they're not going to be able to do anything. You see, I'm trying to stack up my passive as much as possible. Senna flashes away, and we get another flash off, which, to be fair, in a team fight is not that bad. That means I can use my timbers and everything as well. But you can see my timbers is up and available. I only used it a few seconds ago, and my timbers is up, ready and available for the Elder Drake. You can see Akali is still dead for another few seconds, but can use teleport. Akali is in the... Not Akali, sorry. Camille, sorry, is in the top lane, trying to split push. So much damage Senna can do in the late game is quite disgusting. All the damage she has available. I'm going to go back here. I'm probably going to buy Oblivion Orb, I think. Wait, do I buy Oblivion Orb? I actually can't remember. No, I didn't buy Oblivion Orb. Wait, did I have a lot of healing? I mean, I should have got Oblivion Orb so much earlier this game because of the Senna healing. Definitely something that you should keep an eye out on yourself. Don't make the same mistake as what I did. I think you should definitely get Oblivion Orb earlier this game because they do have quite a lot of healing. They have Camille for the healing. Carly can do a little bit of healing as well. She goes for Gunblades. What's the other one as well? Who's the other champion? Senna as well, obviously. Yeah, really, really important to make sure that they can get the healing reduction, you could say. But yeah, unfortunately, Olaf dying again. Again, we're in a pretty difficult spot right now. They have Baron. They could go for the Elder Dragon at this rate, but boom, as you can see, I use my ultimate to try and get as much damage off as possible to kind of scare them away. As you can see, that's pretty much what I'm doing at the moment. Tibbers is face checking the bush for me, as she does. Our team killed the Senna as well, which was really, really nice. And yeah, that was kind of my main purpose of me going in there. Sometimes you don't actually need to get the kill. Sometimes you just need to kind of scare the enemies away, especially because we were in a 4 versus 5 situation. So I needed to try and do as much damage as possible so they didn't continue to push, because they definitely could have looked to try and end the game there in a 4 versus 5 situation. But I mean, for them, they could have gone back to Elder, to be fair. They didn't really need to push down in bot lane. I felt like maybe they could have gone for Elder instead. Akali trying to dash in at the same time. I don't know if I stun... Oh, I stun Kha'Zix, but I don't actually stun Akali in the end. You can see we're trying to kill Kha'Zix here. Because if we kill Kha'Zix, then we could definitely get the Elder Drake. Really, really good play by the Thresh, being able to deny the jump by Kha'Zix there in the end as well. As you can see here, another great fillet by Thresh. Don't know if he timed it the whole time, I'll be totally honest with you. I don't know if he definitely timed it, but I feel like that play was all based off me just doing a lot of damage to the Senna and to the Varus. Obviously, they got the kill onto Senna down in the duo lane as well, which is really, really important. You can see Camille's trying to jump in here. My main focus there was actually to try and kill Camille, because what you should really do in this situation, when there's a champion that's trying to dive in and trying to steal the dragon, it's best to not focus the dragon itself, because then it will be like a 50-50 smite fight, or sometimes your jungler might mess up a little bit. The best thing to do is try and kill the champion first. Either kill the champion or get the champion in GA. That means they can't do any damage at all. They can't use smite or anything. And then you'll be fine to just burst down dragon. And then the opportunity, that window that you have when Guardian Angel is there, or when Guardian Angel is being used by the enemy team, or the enemy champion, I should say, you'll be able to burst down the Baron in time. But yeah, there you go. Full build, 23 minutes into the game with Annie. We got full builds. We're going to be able to one-shot a lot of people as well. 17,000 gold as well, not too bad. We got fairly decent gold on the rest of the team. You see Brand has actually done quite well now in the Baron lane. Had a bit of a rough early game, but has done pretty well to kind of get the items that you need with Brand, because I feel like Brand is a champion that you need a few items before he can start doing a lot of damage. You can see here, gets a stun off as well. Unfortunately, I do miss my Tibbers. I don't know if Akali had Mercury Treads, but the stun there for Brand didn't last as long as what I thought. So I tried to follow up with the Tibbers straight afterwards as well to try and continue to CC chain the Akali, but unfortunately I wasn't able to. You can see I used my Protobolt here to stun the Kha'Zix. Wasn't my original target, I'll be totally honest with you. I tried to stun the center in front, but we still got the Kha'Zix instead. I guess auto aim is just too broken, and as you can see, we just pushed down mid lane with the Baron buff, with the Elder Drake, and we finished the game. So a bit of a rough game overall. I definitely did make a few mistakes, a few overextensions, and I definitely feel like I could have roamed more. I think that's the main thing to note with Annie. It's really, really good to roam a lot with Annie. But overall, not a bad game for a mid laner that I would say is kind of weak at the moment. Not really the best champion to play right now. But still, you can play really, really passive. You can play, you can still play really, really well. As you can see, the damage in the end there as well. We just missed it. The damage in the end, 34,000 damage, a little bit less than Brand's damage. We did more damage than their entire team as well, which is the main important thing. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Annie's breakdown in the gameplay. Again, any questions or anything, let me know. I'll see you all for the next Wild Rift guide. I'll speak to you all very soon. Peace.